So I wanted to show you something special that I have. I may have told you that I previously have kept in touch with people I initially met when I first went to jail. I went to jail for a little bit over a month. I was released by my lawyer, and I met some guys that are pretty interesting. You'll see some of the videos on my channel describing specific people, but this person I have not actually made videos about because I probably couldn't contain all of the stuff that I could talk about this guy. We kept in correspondence after I got out of jail. You know, when I got out, I knew I was going through a long kind of process for my case to run through. For my buddy, his name is KG, and that's what I call him. That's what everybody calls him in jail and in prison. So he's very special to me because he was the first guy who would come up to me and try to get me to not feel so down about being in jail. Because even though I wasn't necessarily horrified or terrified of being in jail, I was just down in the dumps, and I expected my lawyers to bail me out as quickly as possible. And so for like the first week, I would just sleep in my bed and not get out, you know, other than to eat food and to take a shower. And KG would spend so much time to get me out of bed. He'd kind of like, you know, try to introduce me to some card games, doing whatever. His favorite thing that he wanted to do was actually to work out, and I definitely wasn't interested in working out. So, but once I got out, I gave him my address, and I told him that I would write him, and he would write me back, but it took him a while in the beginning because basically he was in detention. He was detained because his case was coming up, and so he had lost a trial, and he was sentenced to 10 to 12. At the time when I found out, it hit me a little bit bad because, you know, that's a pretty serious sentence for a state case. So so he basically, you know, got that time. I committed to continue writing to him, and you know, there's a lot of letters here, as you can see, that we've written over about 2 years, a 2-year period. I actually write usually 2 letters to his 1 response, because you know, it's obvious that when you know, people may not have all the stamps, they may not have time to write, but they want to read letters being sent. So I have a lot of letters here from him, you know, just him telling me what's going on, which is, for me as the person on the outside, I am definitely interested in what's going on in his life, even though for a lot of guys in prison and in jail, it seems boring when you're in it, but when you try to describe it to other people, I think they realize, wow, that sounds interesting. And even though people will say it's boring, there's still a lot of times these letters are like 2 to 3 pages, so they got things to write about and to talk about. So so I highly encourage, if you've ever been curious about prison pen pals, you can really help a person out, and you know, it doesn't have to be that you went to jail with somebody and you met them and that's the reason why you're writing, although that was a big motivation for me because I was in the process of going through my case, and this guy's, he's been sentenced, and so he's starting his beginning years of his long sentence is basically me writing to him. Now, with me also now getting ready to serve my sentence, I'm a little bit depressed about how I might feel like he may not get as much attention. So I've been trying to get what his personal wishes are about possibly finding another pen pal and trying to hook him up with that, because it's lonely. It's very, very lonely to be in jail or prison and your family don't write you, or they don't visit you. You may have a kid and the baby mama don't really want to deal with you anymore because you're locked up. So it's hard, and I know many people who rarely ever get visits. So I'm hoping that's not going to be, the total situation for me in federal prison, but a lot of people have promised me letter writing, and I'm a pretty good letter writer. I will, write back and, to people fairly quickly. I try to tell funny stories, even though I had probably the most boring life during my 2 years under home incarceration. So just to give you an idea of the fact that yes, you can actually become a pen pal, and look how many letters you can write to somebody, and this is over a 2-year period, so you can definitely write a lot more often. And my buddy, he actually, in the beginning, he would send me a lot of gifts. Namely, he would fold a lot of origami stuff and send it to me, and I found it very interesting. So, if you're interested in getting a pen pal, I'm going to talk more about that in a follow-up video on what you do and how you find one. All right, so talk to you soon.